Hello and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at a video from Sexplanations called Sexual Racism. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Dr. Lindsay Doe, and this is Sexplanations.
What was that? One more time. Oh, Dr. Doe. I thought it said Dr. Doc. Doc, or Dr. Doctor.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Recently, I went to NerdCon Nerdfighteria, and on the first day sat down with Lacey Green and Matthew Gatos to do a Q&A about sex.
Well, that's a bad start right there, crazy eyes. Name dropping Lacey Green doesn't really have the same bump as it used to. You'd be better off not associating with her at all, actually. Lacey's a train wreck. And now that I think of it, Doc Doe, Lacey recently said she's going to become a doctor too.
I have made the decision to go back to school and get my doctorate degree.
I wonder if she's going to get some bullshit degree like yours in human sexuality. Then she could come back on YouTube and presume she could speak from authority like you. It's the Dr. Doc model.
Someone from the audience asked if having partner preferences for a certain racialized group is a form of discrimination, as in, if I will only date Mexicans, is that racist? Yes.
Whoa, what the fuck? No more close-ups, alright, crazy eyes? Jeez. At least give me a warning first. You were doing okay until you called everyone racist in the first 20 seconds. It doesn't get more liberal and SJW than calling people racist, sexist, xenophobes. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna rule those accusations out nowadays, so don't even try, lady. And here's the truth about sexual preferences. Asian women are the hottest and white men are the bossest. Boom! Ha! Take that, YouTube. What are you gonna do now, Dr. Doe?
I don't know, it's just like in my bones. I just want to bone Asian chicks.
But really, you're not racist because you like to date a certain race. That's ridiculous. Sexual preferences are just that, preferences. People have preferences for everything else and it's not marked as racist or negative. Food, TV, music, clothes. People look at their options and choose what they like. And it's the same with dating. The problem here is we're dating people, not movies or songs, so Sexplanations went along with the notion that if you don't date a certain race, you're automatically a racist. You're not. Choosing to not date a certain race has no negative effect on them, and it's perfectly natural and fine.
The problem is even positive stereotypes or, wow, I can't believe you don't fit the stereotype, is still racist.
If you're gonna call men racist for not dating certain races, I'm gonna call you women classist for only dating men with money and cars. You're discriminating against the poor men, you animals. And what about fat guys? Where's the fat love, Doc Doe? You don't want to date a fat guy, do ya? You're a fat shamer. You're a fatophobe. You're a fattest.
Racism is a belief that all members of a racialized group are the same in some way that's inferior or superior to other racialized groups.
Well, I don't know about your definition of racism here, honey. I think you're talking about stereotypes, really. When you talk about believing all people in a racialized group are the same, that sounds like racial stereotypes to me. But how would I know? I didn't get a doctorate from, let's see, where did Crazy Eyes go to college? Let's see. Undergraduate from the University of Montana. Not very impressive. I went to a much better state school in an actually relevant state, but hey, Lindsay has that doctorate too, so let's see. A doctorate from the Institute for Advanced Study of Human Sexuality, an unaccredited fake college that makes people fake doctors. Yeah, so listen here, fake Doc Doe. I'm on to you. You got me in the beginning a little bit because you seem nice, but you're not. You're being deceptive and I don't like it. You're not an expert on sex or relationships or anything. And racism is not when people have preferences for who they date. Racism is when people do something that's racist. Fire someone for being black, assault someone for being Asian. Racism requires racist actions, not preferences or thoughts. You're talking about thought racism and that's bullshit. Me choosing not to date Mexicans doesn't hurt or negatively impact them at all, except they will be missing out on some good times, of course, and a giant penis.
So if you believe that all people of one group are less attractive, less worthy, less whatever your dating or sexual expectations, then that's racist. Which, as it turns out, most of us are.
Well, yeah, in your world, everyone and everything is racist, so you have to point it all out, right?
Matchmaker Emma Tessler, who has worked with thousands to find love, is very aware of people's racial preferences, and she says, no one likes being called racist.
Of course no one likes being called racist. It's a very negative thing to say. Well, at least it used to be. Now it's been diluted so much, it's pretty much lost its meaning. Everyone's a racist nowadays, so it doesn't even really matter. But yeah, people don't like being called racist, especially when they're not. It's like when they they don't like being called a murderer or a pedophile. People don't like being called fat or stupid.
But it's hard for her to find another word to refer to people making negative assessments of large groups of individuals that they've never met based solely on the color of their skin.
That's just all wrong, Doc. People aren't making negative assessments of other races or whatever fucking bullshit you came up with. They're just choosing what race they want to date, what they're attracted to, what makes them hard or wet. And different races do look different. Everyone has their features. Blacks have big butts and dongs, for example. Asians are smaller, more petite. Hispanics have booties too, and they can be curvy as hell. See? Things like that. I think the real problem here is the overuse of the word racist. I think we as a modern society should be able to exclude people with dating preferences from the group that we call racist.
For the record, 55% of Emma's clients identify as white, and 90% of her clients have racial preferences, 89.9% of them for white partners. The question I'm concerned with is why?
Because everyone has preferences for everything. They know what they like, and for dating, in this case, white people are choosing to date white people in America. Probably because there are more white people and that's their most likely option. This should not be so surprising to you, Doc. Have you been to America? Most people here are predominantly white, especially in suburban areas. And even the people in more diverse areas like the cities, they don't even have that many more options. I mean, it's either date white people, black, Hispanic, or Asian. It's like 4 choices, really. The fact that Doc Doe thinks this is racist is laughable. I'm sorry you're in America and there's a lot of white people. I know this really pisses regressives like you off, but it's true. And white people in a white country dating other white people, that's not fucking racist.
What happens when we search online for sexiest people? They're mostly white celebrities. This is because Hollywood tells the stories of white attractive people in multidimensional roles, and other racialized groups, not so much.
And this is because these pictures were taken in white countries, and the target audience is white people. You typed your search in English, for Christ's sake. What did you expect? Of course they're gonna be white. And if you went to Tokyo and typed it in Japanese, the search would show Japanese people. What's your point here? What's your problem with white people? Is this white guilt?
It's getting better, but ultimately shows and films foster the idea that white is good-looking, intelligent, successful, and basically the default. So the shortcut in our brains goes white, good, white, standard.
Actually, I think that's just people being attracted to people with the same racial background as themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. Unless you're white, of course, then Dr. Doctor's gonna have a bone to pick with you.
Similarly, because of media depictions and our affinity for these shortcuts, black becomes struggle, Asian, nerdy, Latinx, macho, Muslim, foreign, and so on.
What the fuck is Latinx? Some new SJW word, I guess. I think you're just talking about stereotypes again, Doc. You're a bit of a scatterbrain, to be honest.
One of the things Skylar Nicole brought up when we talked about her work in the porn industry is that lower demand for black performers means lower pay.
So what do you want us to do? Force ourselves to be attracted to people we are not attracted to? Just fake it, basically, is what you're saying. I don't get what your end game is here. Attraction is like 90% natural too, so you can't even really control it.
Even though she's doing the same kind and amount of work as her colleagues, the higher level of melanin in her skin means she makes less money.
Actually, the demand for her services is lower, so she makes less money. In this case, the reason just happens to be her race. And I suppose the dating market is like the porn actress market, or any free market for that matter. I mean, it's basic supply and demand. People are demanding one type of porn and the market supplies them. That's how free markets work. It's fucking capitalism. But this girl and her cronies are arguing against that. It's like they're fucking commies.
To quote anti-racism activist Jane Elliott, pigmentation should have nothing to do with how you treat another person. I would add, or whether or not you get off to them.
And that would be a stupid thing to add. Like I said before, attraction is largely natural and beyond people's control usually. I get a boner for skinny Asian girls, for example. Now I can't just one day tell my dick, hey, buddy, will you go and get hard for this fat black chick? Our bodies don't work like that. And this supposed doctor in human sexuality suggesting things like this, it's making me doubt her even more. They didn't teach her much common sense at that fake college, I guess.
Here's the science. Research participants who explicitly expressed positive attitudes toward white and black people were tested on their implicit attitudes, what they think subconsciously about race.
Lady, me and you have very different definitions of science.
What this shows is that knowingly or not, it is easy to associate good with white and not good with non-white.
The idea of good being white and black being evil dates back to the beginning of time.
Institutional racism is at work here. That means racism established in our history, socially pervasive and methodically executed by our policymakers, corporations, schools, law enforcement, etc.
I don't get how this shit is mainstream. Institutional racism? Get the fuck out of here with that conspiracy theory bullshit. Everyone and everything is not racist. You sound like a nut job, like you believe in lizard people or aliens or Bigfoot, and those crazy eyes aren't helping.
So what do we do? Well, if you don't want to be racist sexually or otherwise, you start by acknowledging that you are. Make a list of 10 countries and next to each one, write a prejudice that you or your society has about people from there, why you wouldn't date them. Then, one by one, find evidence to negate the snap judgment or shortcut in your mind and make a new pathway.
So if we just tell ourselves to like things we don't like, we will start to like them. That's brilliant, Doc.
This will hopefully help with racist thinking. To address racist behaviors, swipe right on Tinder profiles if the person's from a racialized group you'd usually pass up.
So you're saying we should rate people based on their race, and that's how we become not racist. Makes sense.
Attraction is in part influenced by proximity, how close we are in physical space to others, and mere exposure effect, which is how often we come in contact with them.
Funny, you bring up odds and proximity now, when it's convenient for you. What about a few minutes ago when you were calling white people racist for dating whites? I think odds and proximity have a lot to do with that too. Sure beats your explanation of everyone is racist. In the end, all sexplanation is doing is tying people's dating preferences to race, and then calling them a racist for it. You could do the same thing with their preferences of their date's height, weight, religion, or bank account. We all have preferences, and yes, we discriminate who we're going to date, but that's okay. If we can't have preferences for who we date and spend all our time with, what the fuck can we have preferences for? What do you guys think? Do you think your dating preferences make you racist? Is Dr. Doe a real doctor? Or is she a crazy communist nut job? Comment below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time. Freedom! 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 One more way you can support the No Bullshit Show is buying our merch. We've got all kinds of shirts, mugs, white shirts, black shirts, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff at our Teespring store. If you're looking for some swag, I definitely recommend checking it out. And all the proceeds go right back into the show so I can make more videos for you guys. Thanks so much for your time. Goodbye again.